Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. I am your host today, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I welcome you all back to the library of Ruina, where we have more invitations for us to enjoy, such as these, whatever they're going to be. We've got quite a few to be. We've got the Manor Association one. I think I got one called the Memory Association. We've even just got the plain old workshop levels, like the Ashen Lupin, which is 4 different acts. Jesus hell, this would be a long one. But that's not the one I'm interested in at the moment. You see, I see this symbol for the Distortion detective, so I clicked on it. And it's 5 different levels. It's its own story. Also, I apparently don't have a single book of the Utjat, so I need to fix that. Okay, now that I have some Herbjat, let's get on with the actual main point of this video. To fight the Distortion detective. And see what the heck this is all about. Roland. Angela, you called me for something?
Roland. You told me last time you wanted to write a book about the city and its people, right?
I just feel like I have to point out mild spelling errors, you know? Yeah, I did. Why?
Do you remember how the guests who came here last time, the ones with the masks that had eye-like symbols?
The Wadjets? That grade 1 office? That grade 1 office is quite a big deal between fixers. That was an office? I thought that was a cult!
While I was reading one of their books, I found someone that piqued my interest. Moses, the Distortion detective. She's a fixer who strives to understand the city and the distortions. I wonder if this could serve as a reference to your book.
It's a nice idea, but we're not inviting any guests anymore. Besides, I don't really want to participate in that kind of reception ever again.
You don't have to worry about that. We're going inside these guests' story ourselves instead.
Going inside?
Exactly as I said. We can go inside this book by the power of this library. That way we are able to witness and experience their story as directly and vividly as we can. Wouldn't this help you with writing your book, Roland?
Now that's the method I can welcome anytime. So are we diving straight into this book right now?
There's something we need to do first. You're a colored fixer, which means that there's a risk your intervention might alter the course of this story. Also, this is a story that already has an ending. It would be best to reduce our involvement to a minimum. Therefore, I'm afraid I will have to weaken your power.
Well, can't say I wasn't expecting that.
One more thing. Think of an alias before we go in. Looks like we are ready. So let's enter the story right now.
I like this. This is a really interesting way to do this. Oh, my head. Are you sure we're in the right place?
Perhaps. Judging by how our appearance changed, it's safe to say that we are certainly inside the story.
What do you mean by perhaps? Never mind that. Are we inside a building or something?
Yeah? Ah! Who are you guys? Detective! Detective, you have to come here!
Wait!
This is not going to go as easy as I thought. Elsa, what have you called me in for at such a late hour?
Ha 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 ha.
Ha. Care to explain yourselves? Surely you'd know what invading someone's house in the middle of the night means around here. How and for what purpose did you come in here? We are here because we want to know more about you.
Gosh, we're so screwed.
Detective! These ones seem pretty dangerous! I do not know who sent you people, but I do have a hunch. Elsa, bring out the dimensional bag. And it would be better if we moved outside. Yes, ma'am! Seems like we're having a rough start.
And we all know who to blame for. I thought things would go smoother than this.
I want to point out, I haven't read this story. I know nothing about the Distortion Detective. Maybe that's something I should do on this channel. Maybe I should do an audiobook of the Distortion Detective. I don't know. But still, what the heck is going on? So we have Moses, and we have Elzra. We then have Roland, and we've then got angels. Okay. Interesting. So we don't even get to choose who we've used for this fight. Moses, 50 HP, 50 stamina. Puffy smoke, smoking pipe. Able to inhale breaths of 5 different color. Colorless crimson, white, pale, purple, pale. Damage type changes according to the breath type inhaled. What? Psycho moment. Stacks 1 negative emotion without exception at the end of the scene where colored breath was used. Pipe polishing. Light, smoke, and an attack. Piercing gaze, on hit gains smoke, and draw a page. Detecting distortion. Gain smoke, okay. Detective's intuition. Draw 1 page, 3 to 8 dodge, 4 to 10 attack. That's pretty nasty. Pipe transformation. Combat start. This page's dice type changes according to the type of breath inhaled. Colorless breath. All dice type change to counter dice. All dice change to blunt. All dice change to slash. All dice change to counter blunt. Combat start. This page's effects follow the type of breath inhaled. Elzra's page. Loyalty to the detective. If Moses is alive, receives 1 less damage and stagger damage. Mask of emotions. If becomes staggered for the first time, recovers all stagger resistance. Next stage and receive disengage mask effect for the next 3 scenes. Disengage mask for 3 scenes receives 1 strength, disarm, and haste. All damage resistance is changed to normal. All stagger resistance is changed to ineffective. Battle enthusiast. +2 power on clash, -1 on side attack. Good to know. Workshop fanatic. +1 power when using combat pages with workshop in its name. I'm sorry, but if I just give that to Roland, does that not just mean he gets +1 power on half his cards? Angel's assistant. Draws 2 more pages at the start of the scene, +2 power to the dice of pages drawn every 4th time. So it's 4th time instead of 3rd time. Thinking entity. Exclusive page becomes available when all 9 combat pages of Angel is used. Library director draws 2 more pages upon entering the stage. At the start of the scene, restore 1 light and draw a page. That's a really cool one. So what are your things? Dimensional bag. Draw a page. Restore light on hit. Stigma workshop short sword. Restore light. Aelus workshop's gloves. Give 2 freeze. Receives X, bind X and disarm half of X at the start of the scene. When inflicted with burn, this effect is removed after receiving X damage. Okay, that's kind of unique. But you also inflict burn. Gain 1 haste next scene. If speed is 7 or greater, +2 to all dice. Challenger's Spirit deals 7 damage each time this page loses clash with defensive dice. Curry's Workshop Gloves. If speed is 7 or greater, +2 power to all dice. If less than 7, -1 power to all dice. If speed value is 9 or greater, use last dice 3 times. This is gonna prove to be quite interesting, isn't it? Okay, Distortion Detective. How does this go? Because you've certainly piqued my interest at this point. I've got a good feeling we can make it. I've got a good feeling we can make it. I don't want to waste any time. Let's end this quickly. Right. Library of a thinking entity. Mass attack. If attack hits 3 or more enemies, give 2 strength, haste, endurance, strength to all allies next scene. Well, there's only 2 enemies, so all attacks are currently on Roland. But of course, friendship. Ooh. This page is only available when all 9 of Orlando's combat pages are used. When Angel uses a page on this scene, Orlando uses the same page on the same opponent. Max 1 per character. Oh, that's pretty damn cool. So you start with 5 smoke. That's interesting. I was about to say I just realized I'm not meant to clash with you, but I'm clashing you with a dice that does 14 to 24 damage. I don't think that can lose. So, good. Nice. Slap. Nice job, Roland, you loser. Okay. Red Breath. Deal 3 additional damage per successful hit. On the end of scene, receive number of pages used times 3 damage. Token of Friendship. Instant. Target ally. Restore target ally's HP stagger resistance by 7. And gain Teardrop page in hand. This page exhausts. Okay. Teardrop. When this page is in hand, a Token of Friendship page will not be acquired. This page exhausts on use. On hit, give a random... On hit, next scene, give a 1H strength to a random ally. Right. You know what, Roland? Screw it, we'll try the gun. Go! I think you passed one of those. Oh, Rosas died. You probably sought to die a more meaningful death than this. Right. Okay, guys. Go. Good. Nice. Nice. That means she staggered this turn, even if she fully recovers next turn. So what did disarm do? Power dice. Okay, so now you're in a frenzy, is basically what it is. Alright, Roland, let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes, Roland and Angela. Angela, what were those fucking numbers? Right there. I was about to say, how did they not die? Distortion Detective Prequel. And we got 2 books of Moses and Urza. Damn it. Just how long is it left until the night of the Backstreet? I'm sorry, Detective. If only I was stronger. Alright. Just calm down and listen to us. We're not the kind of people you're thinking of. Very well. I'm listening. Like I have mentioned earlier, we are here to learn more about you. By some coincidence, we are writing a book about distortions. Distortions. I see. Still, that would do little to justify barging into my office. She's right! You could have just visited here like a normal person would! We do feel regretful regarding that matter. I know this would sound like an excuse, but such an act was not our intention. Not your intention, you say. I don't know how I should take that. But at least you don't seem to be lying. Writing a book about distortions, you say. Mind if I ask who you are? Let me introduce myself. My name is Angela. It's Angel.
Angel.
I am a writer who writes about distortions. While I was doing my research, I learnt about Moses' office, the distortion detective. This is the reason why we came to visit you. We wish to record phenomenons I can't say that word properly. That are taking place within the city.
And I'm Orlando, Angel's talented assistant friend. Currently a grade 2 fixer.
Angel, and Orlando. Right. And what are the conditions you are offering? Simple. We help you, and in turn you let us make records of you. What kind of help are you willing to provide? We will tell you what we have gathered regarding the distortions, but only enough to help our cooperation. If my hypothesis is proven correct through this cooperation, then I will give you the information on distortions. Me and Orlando will help you on your way, on the way. Understood. Understood. It's quite late now, but it seems our office does not have enough room for you to stay over. Do not worry. We won't be a burden to you under any circumstances. Wouldn't you agree, Orlando?
Sure. Of course, writer.
Now that the time is late, we will take our leave. Is this going to be okay, Detective? They don't look like much of a threat to me, according to my hunch, at least. Your hunch? You really sure we can trust that? I'll have to cut your pay. What? Please forgive me, Detective! Anyways, now that they are gone, let us go back to bed, too. Good night, Detective!
And we're back.
I never realized it since I never left the library, but it looks like it's around 3 o'clock in the morning outside.
Implying that the flow of time goes the same for inside and outside the book? By the way, I had no idea we would just pop into someone's room like that. Things could have ended before we were started.
This is the first time I've ever tried this, so I wasn't exactly well prepared. This is how we will walk inside stories from now on. Think of today's experience as a prologue, Roland.
To be honest, I'd hate it if I had to read it twice.
So, what can I get from those books, and where the hell do I fucking find them? Mod needed. I don't know what that book's meant to be. Oh my gosh, there's so many books for me to get from this. So many pages. Oh, hell. I'm gonna have to fight that again. To be fair, there's already multiple things I need to fight multiple times. At least we're getting more smoke pages. We need more smoke in our lives. Still, even if we didn't get the pages, I'm not sure if it matters, considering it looks like the pages we get, the things we fight with in this particular story are already predetermined. So let's just go into the next episode and see what happens. You idiot. Ah! Detective, what do we do? Ha 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 ha. My apologies, Chef. My niece isn't very streetwise yet, you see. Oh, darling, what do you mean by detective? Are you seeing stuff again? Poor little thing.
Huh. So you were just a couple of nut jobs. To stop my business with your bullcrap again, and I'm calling security.
Of course. We are so sorry. Are you out of your mind? I'm so sorry! You're sitting inside a small restaurant that's not seeing too many guests, and you thought it was a good idea to yell out, "Wow, the food here is just as disgusting as the sanitation." Who taught you to cook?
Whoa there, let's not get too mad about it. She was just trying to make things work.
The food was really disgusting, though. You think we're here to enjoy the food? You were supposed to look around for clues, Ezra. You should You should have just crammed the stuff in your mouth before the chef finds us suspicious.
But then the food really was total crap.
Orlando?
'Cause right. Sometimes...
I'm trying to read this properly.
Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and eat that stuff no matter how disgusting it is. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
But detective, these dishes has got to be why the people disappeared. Bet the revolting taste drove them insane and made them wander off. I'm cutting your pay. By 25%. Detective, please! So, what did the chef look like to you? The lower half of the body was that of a snake. There were hands attached to the tails. About 7 of them, if I remember correctly. Well, what about the rest of the body? Was it still human? Yes, it still had the appearance of an ordinary human in a filthy chef's uniform.
Quite an extraordinary look this fella has. So, based on what you've just said, can we say that the distortion has progressed about half?
Maybe it'll take about a week until complete manifestation. It could very well happen tonight, depending on the circumstances. That hand on the tail is twitching and salivating as if it's hungry. Certainly a sign that it won't take much longer. Anyways, you're saying that we're dealing with a reptilian type, right? Let's see. Stigma Workshop's product would be handy in for this case. Always picking expensive stuff, huh?
Stigma stuff may be expensive, but they do guarantee their performance. This girl certainly knows her weapon.
Detective, could it really be that something's up with the kitchen? The chef had the worst distortion around the place, so it's highly likely. Ezra, we are use the fairy.
I think that's meant to be we will use the fairy.
Yes, ma'am!
Huh. Never knew you guys could use the fairy.
It may be expensive, but it does guarantee its performance. Wow! Looks like they're having a party or something.
Doesn't look like the pleasant kind of party to me.
What could they be eating? Halt! Everyone look away and hold your breath. Do not look at what they are eating. They look so tasty. I'm gonna go mad, detective. It looks so cozy inside, just like a bedroll. Bedroll? The moment you're in there, you'll be eaten and end up as pieces of feces. Damn it.
Silently punches Ezra's stomach as hard as possible. You woke up yet?
I am. I'm all right now. Cover your nose with this handkerchief. It'll get worse when we get to the kitchen. Get yourself together. Sorry, detective.
How about you, Angel? You doing okay?
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Let's just focus on the matter for now.
So that's supposed to be the food that hypnotizes people. Detective! What kind of food could it be? What? What kind of food? Sounds like she might be asking what kind of food that is. We're about to find out right now. Get ready.
What is that?
People's heads are being cut open, and something is being taken out of it. Detective, what could that be? It doesn't look like a brain to me. Most likely not the brain itself. Could it be thoughts?
Taking out thoughts? Is that even possible?
That's what the distortion is about. They materialize invisible, conceptual things into physical form. The chef takes out people's thought, makes a sack out of their skin, and puts their thoughts in that sack.
And people eats them. And people eat them. These guys are nastier than I thought. Hum-de-dum, cooking thoughts all day. Hey, why, you? You're the nutjobs from earlier. The hell are you doing here? You want to eat? Then line up. Don't you see the queue back there?
What are you feeding to these people?
Feed? I'm feeding them exactly what they want.
You mean their thoughts?
You got that right. I'm the thought chef. I cook thoughts for people. City folks these days don't even know what they're thinking anymore, unless someone comes by and cooks it for them. You do know that they're being killed, right? What's the point of having thoughts in such way? Huh. Living without thoughts is just as good as simply being dead. Realizing one's thoughts after years of living in ignorance will give them a whole new life. You gotta know who you are and what kind of world you're living in to truly appreciate the flavor, you see.
Just like a cheap slasher story.
Now that I see, you folks too seem like you don't have much idea about your own thoughts.
Detective, the flesh creatures in the dining hall are coming in.
Let me show you the taste of your own thoughts.
Orlando, get ready.
Already am, my writer.
This is actually really cool. So the pages I get are actually... So the ones I fought last time are actually the way you work this time. So that means hopefully I can see more of this colored smoke, because it seems awesome. Thought chefs. Ineffective damage, immune to stagger. If 3 or more customers died without eating their own thoughts, receives you know nothing effect on next scene. You know nothing. Give what would your thoughts taste like page to all opponents when the buff becomes active. At the start of each stage, receive 7 strength and endurance. Okay. If there are no customers at the start of the scene, summon 4 customers at the start of the scene. Does not sustain damage by burn or bleed, unaffected by freeze effect. Chopping thoughts. Give 1 strength to all allies, excluding self. Deal 5 stagger damage to target. Deal 5 stagger damage to target. Cooking thoughts. In combat start, give endurance 2 to self. On hit, give bind fragile 3. And then it's got a defensive dice as well. And that's your only abilities. Okay, what are the customers then? Cooking thoughts. Uses devouring thoughts on third scene. If 3 or more characters eat their thoughts, all stagger resistance of Thought Chef become weak, and all damage resistance become ineffective. On the start of the next scene, gains strength 3, endurance 3, haste 3. Okay. So delicious. Try this. Try the food first, and then start talking. So... how did things end up like this? I love how we're opposite, as if this is a abnormality fight. And we've got the things appearing. Okay. How did I end up doing things like this? You know what I need most? Okay, I didn't see that. How did I end up doing things? It's still my job and all, so I'm trying at least. Alright, here I come. I want you to take this thought seriously. Take their thoughts, cook them into a banquet, and feed it back to them. Isn't that just wonderful? No. Mediocre dishes ain't going to make people happy anymore. Maybe true. You gotta know who you are and what kind of world you're living in to truly appreciate the flavor. Allow me to show you how your own thoughts taste like. Don't you dare criticize me when you know nothing about cooking. I think I will. You want to eat? You gotta line up. Okay. The taste's gonna be nothing like the stuff you had before. Yeah, I don't hope to eat it. Folks these days don't even know what they're thinking. I mean, that's kind of true for modern day. Take their thoughts, cook them into a banquet. Okay, we're back to the beginning now. Alright then, so you've got 1 dice. You have ineffective damage resistance. And immune to stagger. And then these guys, I have to keep alive for 3 scenes, I think? If 3 or more customers died without eating their own thoughts, receives you know nothing effect on the next scene. You know nothing, give what would your thoughts taste like page to all opponents when the buff becomes active at the start. You know what? I'm going to assume that. What we want is a lot of defense. The customers are resistant to piercing at the very least, so... Alright. We may not want them to... We may want them to eat their own thoughts, but we do also want them dead. In the end. So... Alright, let's see how this round goes then. Dodge, 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 slice, slice. Nice, nice. Pretty good. I like those animations. Those are pretty cool. Okay. Now they're eating their own thoughts. On use, instant death. Is that towards me or towards the person? Huh? Oh, I can choose which breath I pick? Oh, that's how you work. Oh, so you're like the triangrums. Right, okay. Because I am quite interested whether the instant death is on me or on you. I'm just going to continue like this. It looks like the instant death is on you. So you gain 3 haste and 3 endurance and whatnot. But this scene, all of your resistances are goddamn bloody weak as all hell. So, alright then guys, let's see how this does, because he's only got the singular defensive dice after all. Let's see how well, if at all, we can beat him down. And now we just gotta continue on like that, right? Interesting. Okay. I must also remember that they've got the same passives as they did in the time I fight them. So in other words, this girl is more effective in clashes. Really? I do not like your deck, because you just don't seem to work. Then again, I guess you've got the colorless breath. So, draw a page, restore 2 light, gain 4 smoke. Huh. Could be worse, honestly. I think the main thing to note, then, is that I don't even need to bother attacking these things. Really. And that most, if not all, of my effort can go straight into murdering this guy. Because he takes 1 damage every time we hit him. So let's go. I have yet to see that giant snake use anything other than the attack that it's done. Yeah, all these things are insta-dying this turn, so I can just focus everything on murdering you. And it does look like I can use the colorless breath every single round, which is interesting. Okay, guys, go. Nice blocking with that, then, Roland. Yeah, you died. You died. I couldn't be helpful to others. That's your concern? I will let your death go in. I won't let your death go in vain. I should have done a better job. Oh, now because you've got enough emotion, you're now doing that on top. Okay. So if I have Angela do all these, then does this say combat start? No, I'm not sure if it needs to act first or after, so I'll do it first. Alright, let's see how this goes and what happens. I admit I did forget about your defensive dice. I think the idea is I am meant to go through a number of rounds to stagger you. But because of the fact you're not immune to damage, I can just beat you down. Alright, let's see what happens to the damn snake this round. Yes. Good enough. As long as I don't roll basically minimum, you do take damage. And that is what we want you to see. What we want to see from you. Right. You are almost dead. And one way or another, I believe you dead this round. So... Ow. Well, Angela and Roland are both staggered, so it's kind of up to Miss Distortion Detective whether the one hit she has on the big boss does enough damage, actually.
So, and it does. You know what? That's somehow fitting, and I'm gonna say I did that on purpose. Book of a Thought Chef. Really? I don't get anything special from the thing itself?
I took care of them all, Detective!
Sure you did. I'm done. I'm dome with my share too.
The chef has also been taken care of. We should contact the Should we contact the Zwei Association then? That would be good. But don't put too much effort into the reports, though. They won't believe all that thought-cooking nonsense anyway. I'll go get some sleep first. Yes, ma'am! I suppose that today's case was related to the Zwei Association? Yeah, we got a commission from the association. Sometimes we receive commissions from individual people, and other times we receive them from the associations.
I'm guessing most of them has something to do with the distortions.
It is a strange phenomenon that most people can't explain after all. It's obvious that other fixers or associations would have a hard time dealing with that kind of issues. However, our detective is way more capable than any of them. That's exactly why she can solve those cases. Since she can see the distortions, it would only make sense that she is a professional regarding distortions. It's safe to say that her expertise in this department is nigh irreplaceable.
Anyways, Ezra, was it? We'll be heading back to our place too.
Yep, see you tomorrow! Ah, Detective, you're back! Took you a while. Sure I did. The queue at Ham Pang Pang is getting longer every day. Perhaps people want to check it out since it's the first to open in the northern side. Is there one for me too? Yes, got one just for you. Got one for you just in case. You liked mustard sandwich, right? Hehe, yep, yummy! Ham Pang mustard sandwich is the best! Anyway, by the way, Zai sent us the rewards. That was pretty quick. They probably half-assed the paperwork, judging by how it was done in a single day. So, anyways, to sum up this case, I'd say it was about an unappreciated cook who wanted to bring joy to the people in their own twisted way. Barely worth a crude urban legend, I suppose. We're seeing more and more distortions of this kind lately. If only other wings or associations would actually try to take care of it. Those problems aren't enough to be classified as an urban plague. Such things are usually too trivial for them to actually be bothered by. Few dead backstreet dwellers aren't much of an issue. Whether it's because of a finger bow, bell, or sweepers, people dying in the backstreets is something that is naturally happening all the time. It's something that just can't be helped with. Huh. Oh, right. By the way, you're not actually going to cut my salary, are you? That a-hole chef's food really was the cause of the problem. Psh, if only you tried using that good memory for something better. I heard that!
I love this. I can't wait to see how this story continues on. Here we go. Book of a Thought Chef. It basically has no rewards. Interesting. Well, there's still... Oh, you've got a triple story. Well, according to this, there's still 6 chapters left for us to do. So, I think this is going to be a lot of fun for a couple of weeks. Don't you guys? As I say, I've never had anything to do with this. Also, you have a second story. You know what? I might as well. I don't know how long this episode is. I'm going to assume it hasn't been long enough yet, so I'm going to do it. There's a haunted house. People disappear when they pass by that place. Another case for missing people, I see. How exactly do they disappear? No one knows who disappeared how. What? They're just gone. We only know that those people are not there anymore.
Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. But Detective, I thought reality warpers only existed in your theories. Just because it only exists in theory doesn't mean we can be certain of its inexistence. What are you people talking about? Ah, just some jargons related to our business. You don't have to worry too much about it. By the way, where did they go missing? It's somewhere around the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. It's not that far from here. How did you know that they went missing? There are abandoned objects that has traces of those missing people. They're strewn about in the places. Like bikes on the street, cars, or cups that they used inside their homes. And most of all, the furnitures in my attic were placed in a way as if someone had been living there until today. Does that mean one of your family members went missing? That's the strangest part, because I live alone. Everything will be revealed once we're done with the investigation. There's no need to worry. What if I did have a family, just like you said? And if they've been kidnapped and killed? What do you want to do in that case? Find whoever's responsible, then make them pay for it until they beg for mercy. Uncompromising, I see. Alright, everything looks good, sir. Now shall we talk about the commission fee? Did you get the case? Yes, I'm currently discussing a few things to the case with Urza.
Are you sure she can be trusted with it? Trusted with this? She seems rather dumb, simple-minded.
Urza may be a clumsy child, but she knows how to gauge the seriousness and difficulty of her share of work. She may not be able to see distortions, but she's worthy enough for me to let her handle things. So, have you any ideas as to what this case could be? Roughly, although we'll have to get to the location ourselves for more details. On surface level, this appears to be a simple disappearance case.
Disappearance?
Indeed. However, there is something very unusual about it. No one can remember those who went missing. Someone had certainly existed, but they were forgotten as if they weren't.
Is that even possible?
Very much, considering the nature of distortions. Detective, I'm done writing the contract. The client went back to her home.
Oh, it was a her, was it?
The Plaza of Cherished Hopes, he said. Okay, it's a he now. We are leaving right now. Yes, ma'am. Do I bring the usual gadgets? Sure.
Well then, shall we get prepared too, my writer?
Ta-da! Here we are at the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. What are we going to do next? Wait here until nightfall? Judging from our client's description, the distortion we're looking for this time is highly likely to be a location type. There's no need to wait until nighttime, as we can simply look for distorted buildings. But Detective, only you can see those weird buildings. Is there anything we can do? See if there's abandoned stuff around that lost their owners. That's what this distortion is all about.
Few minutes later.
I haven't found anything particularly weird.
Didn't see anything remarkable either.
There are quite a lot of other distorted buildings around the plaza. Windows with eyes, apartments floating in the air, doors with teeth, rooms filled with water.
It's not gonna be easy.
Still, there's a certain trait that stands out. It devours people. And the devoured ones are forgotten from memories.
I'm tired.
Orlando, focus. Urza, quit yawning, and Urza, look for any place around here that provides good services or provides goods or services for charity. For charity? Would that kind of place even exist in the backstreet?
Backstreet people? Doing something for free? Even when they are too busy trying to survive themselves? Could there be such a...
Preferably a place where people who don't have a job would go.
Oh, right. There was this place called... what was it? Lee something?
There used to be a soup kitchen named Lemur Soup Kitchen. Is it sponsored by anyone?
Nope. It seems to be run by an individual.
I have a hunch. Let's go and see. Didn't you say it was a soup kitchen? I did. It even says so right there. What does this place look like to you in your eyes, detective? A photo study. Aged and worn out. So, this place looks like a soup kitchen to you three?
Yep.
Correct. Every morning they serve free meals to orphans and elderly people living in poverty. Seems like we're in the right place. Well then, should we use the ferry?
Huh? You're going to use that expensive thing here?
I agree! It's not like you don't know it... It's not like you don't know it costs a fortune to get it charged one time. This is just a worn-down tent. We can use the entrance like normal people would. I'm seeing a door sealed with a large padlock. Plus, I don't appreciate the way you talk to me. I'll have to cut your pay for that. What? Just kidding. Don't you think you're having a bit too much fun with that? I feel like I'm losing at least 10 years from my life every time I hear that. Why, do you actually wish to have your pay cut? Nevertheless, we don't need to wait until night to get this case done. Me seeing an old tent as a photo study, the distortion has manifested quite much at this point. We should be able to interfere with it now. So, do we just go it? Do we just go in? I think that's meant to be. Hold on. You shouldn't just barge into a closed-off section of someone else's mind.
Huh? What did you just do? The entrance opened up on its own.
I simply showed a little courtesy. You weren't happy about using the ferry. Then the other option for dealing with a closed door is to knock. Wow, it's much bigger on the inside? Now I see why you said it looks like a photo study.
These walls are filled with photos. Could those people in the photos be the victims?
Perhaps. Now that I'm looking at it closely, these are all photos of dead people. I thought they were just sitting there. Halt. Everyone quiet. This room, it's breathing. I can even feel the heartbeat.
It feels gross.
This place has devoured quite a lot of people. Over there, there's an elderly person dying.
Oh no, this person is about to die.
The breath is weaker than that of this room. This person is dying alone and forgotten.
Lonely photographer.
This place is a memorial. Yikes! I remember each person in their photograph. I take pictures of them and frame them. Who are you? I'm a photographer. I believe I should be the one asking who you two are, in fact. This is Moses, the Distortion detective, and I'm the talented sidekick as... Ow! Must you reveal our identities so carelessly? We are fixers. We actually got a request about recent cases of disappearance. Ha! Disappearance, you say? So, they do realize that much, at least. But what would be the point of it at this point?
What are you implying?
These people were considered non-existent even when they were alive. But now, when they are about to die, people just noticed their absence? How tragic. Did you lure them here with free meals to kill them? No, I didn't. I'm simply remembering the people who are bound to be forgotten, like Mrs. Angie's over here. I take pictures of them so that they can be so that they can be I take pictures of them so they can be memorized in this room. This place, the back street, it's filled with people who are dying alone. No one ever mourns for them. I've realized as I work that there's no one for these people at the end of their desolate lives. This is why I want to remember them.
After kidnapping all those innocent people, this is what you felt? Is this some kind of sick joke?
Not at all. My work was accompanied by an awful stench. Usually, when there is putrid, unbearable odor coming from somewhere, neighbors report it with loud complaints and curses. Then I go and retrieve the body.
So, you were a mortician who usually dealt with people that died lonely deaths.
Yes, my work was to look for such bodies in the streets of District 11 and direct funerals for them. As part of the welfare plans of N Corpse Nest. I've arranged funerals for 253 people. And for all those funerals, not a single mourner showed up. Truly, it's simply tragic. I decided to take one last photograph of the deceased before I retrieved their bodies, so that at least I could remember them.
But then I thought this was a soup kitchen.
I got fired. The Nest said they didn't need any more tax wasters, such as morticians like me.
Funerals are for the living, after all.
I'd meet the same fate, since I don't have anyone to remember me. For our lives to be meaningful, the memories have to be passed on somehow. So we've decided to remember each other. Remembering that we existed and lived in this city.
What a load of bullcrap.
Bullcrap, huh? Why? What a violent man you are. You're just distorted. How would that in any way justify kidnapping people coming to your tent for free meals?
Are you certain whether they'll die alone or not?
But it's obvious! It's so apparent that they'll die all in their own rooms, abandoned, forgotten by all. You, sir, gentleman in the black suit, you seem familiar with backstreet life. You know well, don't you? Only loneliness awaits at the end of backstreet people's lives. Eventually, no one will stand by their deathbed.
Shut it!
Oh my!
Roland.
We'll remember each other, and we'll be forgotten in peace. We have the right to not have our existence forgotten by everyone so ruthlessly.
Right to not be forgotten. Remembering each other. Not even funny. People like you don't have the right to take memories from others. You just didn't want to sink into oblivion all by yourself. You're trying to force your own loneliness out by dragging others into the same pit you're in.
No! No! That can't be!
You're no more than a kidnapper. All you did was kidnap people who were in the same shoes as you, because you yourself were afraid of being forgotten.
That's right! You're nothing but a criminal! Shut the hell up! All of you! You'll never understand the unspeakable pain of loneliness I have witnessed!
How pathetic. Spilling nonsenses as if you know anything about being lonely.
Right! Ha ha! You'll all end up forgotten anyways. I'll be the one remembering you forever. You too have the rights to not be forgotten.
Ezra, get ready.
Yes, ma'am!
Ooh, I'm interested how this is gonna go. You're immune. I like this, just because each of the fights are technically a challenge. In their own way. It's a challenge fight. Not just pure brute force. It's a challenge fight. Work out how to win. I love that. Alright, so let's see how this works. Lonely photographer. On stage start, summon 4 memory cameras. If any camera is present on stage, the photographer stays endured in all damage resistance and stagger resistance. If all cameras are remembered, or no cameras is left on the stage, becomes staggered and recovers all cameras to original state next scene. Okay.
Forgotten People. On start scene, inflicts loneliness 2 to all opponents who are not remembered. Right not to be forgotten. If there is a character with loneliness of 5 or more, uses forever remembered combat page. I'll remember you. Power of offensive dice increases according to the amount of loneliness given to the opponent. Power of defensive dice increases according to the amount of loneliness given to self. If the photographer hits an opponent with loneliness, takes 1 loneliness from the opponent, 1 time per scene. Okay. Camera. Has the same bullcrap. So what are your pages? Ready for the shot. Restore 1 light. On defense. Extra stagger damage according to the opponent's loneliness value. On clash lose, remove 1 loneliness from the opponent. And snap. On hit. If opponent is not in remembered state, turn opponent into remembered state. From this scene to the following 2 scenes. Okay. Let's just start and see what happens. Only weak-willed punks something or other. You won't get anything done if you sit there and keep saying you're scared. Let's get the work done and give it our best shot. Shouldn't let the strength get to your head. You'll leave yourself wide open. I think that's what say. Normal people are meant to say. It's just saying it when it's not meant to be. For a life to be meaningful, memories must be passed on. We'll remember each other, and we'll be forgotten in peace. Okay. Should everyone must forget our existence so ruthlessly? This is merely a place of memorial. A place of rest for those who exist but never treated as such. To preserve those who would otherwise be forgotten by taking photos of them. Okay. To prove that the beings that are us lived within this city, even for a short while. Ha. For a life to be meaningful, memories must be passed on. Yeah, at the beginning now. Okay then. So, you get a bonus to a power die to your power equal to our loneliness. Receives 2 stagger damage each time the dice is rolled. What? Okay, I think I'm good. Let's go then. Well done, that lot loses. I lost my stagger dice. Okay, you lost, so now you're remembered. So now we get to figure out what the hell remembrance does. Remembered. Immobile for 2 scenes. All damage resistance is changed to normal. The change remains after the effect is removed. Loneliness does not stack. 20 stagger damage to all allies if killed in remembered state. Ha! That's quite drastic, actually. Alright, let's see how this goes. We need to remove our loneliness, as well as slowly kill all the cameras. Okay, let's see how this goes. These things I can burn and use other status effects for. So I think I should remember that. Good, 1 is dead. And all of them are using defensive dice. Nice. What are you doing? Who has 5 loneliness? You have 5 loneliness. Why do you have 5 loneliness? How do I fix that loneliness? So you're just gonna instantly kill our detective. Okay. So as I say, if I'm not mistaken, you're just dead now because you've got 5 loneliness because I didn't let people hit you. Inflicts 2 loneliness to all people who are not remembered. Yet we can only lose 1 loneliness a round. And now 2 people are dead. Should I just restart this? I feel I'm just gonna restart this. Well, I got a book of the Lonely Photographer, if that actually gives me anything. It doesn't. So, let's think. You give... We legitimately just have to nuke these things as quickly as possible. But at the same time, we do also need to let people get hit by the second attack, not the first attack. Somehow. Alright, so let's see how this first round goes. Cool. Wait. How did you lose a loneliness? Or did the draw count as losing a loneliness? Alright, you've now got 4 loneliness, which means you need to lose 2 loneliness this round. We actually need people to be remembered. Because when people are remembered, then they're no longer gaining the stuff, and thus there's more things to lose the stuff that they're gaining. Okay, I don't think I have messed up from this. Excellent. More loneliness lost. That's what we like to see. 1 dead camera. You're now remembered. Meaning that while we can't use you, you're not gaining any loneliness. Right. And you're staggered, or immobilized, I should say. Meaning I can only lose, potentially, 2 loneliness this entire scene. And I will not deny I'm not the biggest fan of you, so I'm just gonna send you to hell. So someone is going to die, Nakescene, because you got all your dice sealed, which I kinda didn't account for. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be you, which I'm honestly fine with, because I don't like you that much. But you're not sealed, which is even better. Which means you do have the potential to lose more. And what you should do is probably get yourself remembered. Meanwhile, Angela is going to do her absolute best to lose two loneliness. And you've got 5 on you. You're the one that's dying. Oh, okay. But technically, by you hitting us, we do lose a loneliness, which makes things slightly easier for us. Meanwhile, there's literally nothing you can do, so... Although, if you had the energy, you could do that, which wouldn't be bad. Alright. That would have been cool. Ah! Angela got staggered! Meaning she is no longer... got the health. Wow, this fight is fucking hard! Alright, well, let's see how this goes. I bet you're staggered this round, aren't you? Yep. Meaning this is just going to turn into Roland versus the world. Oh, but yes, you can't get staggered on your first turn. Doesn't matter, you still have over 6 loneliness. Right, Roland, can you finish this off for us, is the question. Is Roland a badass? The camera has 1 HP left. And recover all cameras to original state next scene. Really? Why are you remembering me? I don't have over the limit. What happened to my fucking dice? Oh, this is a fucking joke of a match. I don't see how this is possible. One character gains more loneliness than they can possibly lose in a single round. What is this bull? Like, I understand the gimmick mechanic, but when the gimmick mechanic says, ha ha, you lose, it kind of is a little bull crap. So we kind of have to make sure we do everything in our power to keep everyone alive. It's mostly Urza, actually. Because she can't lose loneliness in these situations where she needs to lose a dice. Because she can't lose one. It even feels like it might even be better if 2 people are... what am I called it? Quote-unquote remembers at a time. Because then they can't gain any... You have 4 loneliness, which means you need to get hit by that person, as well as block that, but it also doesn't fucking work because of the fact you've already failed. If anyone ever fails to lose 1 loneliness each round, it's GG. Although I might have just thought of a cheat method to do this. Okay, I think we have one turn to kill both of these things if we wish to live. So... which I'm pretty sure I have failed at. Alright, go. Because those two are now dead because they've got their loneliness bull crap. And now you're staggered, and we have to kill you this round. So, what is the most amount of damage I can dish out using these characters? Let's just go and try, you two, and hope for some miracle rolls, which you're not exactly rolling right now! Nope, we lose. I love how he still gives us loneliness, even when he's staggered, and the turn he recovers from stagger too. Like, the turn where we can't recover from it, so we have to die to this. It's not even remotely fair. Okay, so I said I had a cheat method, and I do. Because there is something that one of these smoke types gave us that they didn't do anything about. So, turn 1, you need to clash your little heart out to be able to give us what we need. And it's all reliant on Moses getting her... well... getting her energy more than anything. Okay, go. Screw you, take some loneliness. You can fucking burn. And she did rank up. Good! Why is that good, you ask? Simple. Because what it means is we can spend one more round just doing what we need to avoid the smoke. You know what? Screw that. I'm not even taking the risk of that extra round. Although I also feel I have to because she doesn't have enough smoke yet to be able to reliably do what it is she needs to do. So, okay, one more round of this thing, where everyone loses one smoke. Cool. We each have a maximum of 4 stuff now. Now, White Breath, which fully restores my light. Tell this fucker to fuck right off
and seal his speed dice.
And then we use a directing distortion in order to get more, you know, whatchamacallit. Okay, guys, go. First up, tell that thing to die. Next, hit, and finally, hit. His speed die has been sealed. May he rot in hell. So now, even though most of us have that amount of stuff that you mentioned before, we don't care. So now I use that same ability again, shoot him with the speed die again. I think you're understanding the gimmick, starting to understand the gimmick, guys. So now she just focuses on laying into him, and everyone else focuses on laying into everything else. Okay, go. Whack, whack. Have another ceiling. I'm surprised you lost that. I'm surprised you won that. Now, you don't have much stuff left, but what you do have is white smoke. Which then staggered you. We have to kill this thing this round, or we die. Actually, can I do this? No, you still count as staggered. Never mind. Okay, so it's a good gimmick, but it runs out of time eventually. Alright. You die. You die. That gives us bonus strength, bonus strength, bonus strength, bonus strength. And now, we have 3 people to utterly obliterate a bastard. So, we pray for a miracle, because they are really close to staggering themselves as well. Go! For all that's holy, die, you insufferable bastard. Glorious! Seal his speed dice until he can't fight no more. It works! Well. Phew, it's finally over. That's exactly how I feel. We're back! Neither of you two are entertained. Neither am I. Well, work's over for today. Are you leaving? We should. It's getting late. It's been a long day today. Why don't you have dinner with us?
We're good, thanks. Well then, we'll take our leave.
Looks like they got something bothering their minds, don't they? Who hasn't had their spirits wounded among everyone who lives in the city? So, are you seeing distortions from them too? Well, I do, and I don't. Huh? What do you mean by that? It's nothing. We should have dinner too. Okie dokie! What's up? Who could that be?
He Jun Han. Greetings, Dr. Moses. It's been a while.
Must feel good to be playing in the big leagues way above me, doesn't it?
Oh no, not at all.
Hello!
Heejun Sunbei? You tactless. What are you doing here? Heading north all the way up here from the south part of the city? It must be a complete mess down there with L-Corp collapsing.
You're as sharp as always, Doctor. I'm actually here because of that.
What? Look, I'm just too old to get myself involved with the wings.
The Distortion. You can see them, right?
I would have closed this office otherwise.
I wonder how I appear to you then.
Son of a bitch. Well, your mouth is sewn up, it seems. Perhaps it's because it's actually going to be zipped up soon enough.
You haven't changed at all. Are you not in need of some funds?
Do I look like I'm in a financial crisis?
Then why else would you be doing something as absurd as the Distortion Detective? I see. It's because you still can't forget about what you did back then. You still regret that, don't you?
Shut the hell up, Heejun Sunbei. Go on.
Urza and I were the only ones to survive your rampage that day. You are essentially responsible for our lives, Doctor.
What do you want me to do? Bite my tongue and die?
I can't have you die on us so easily, no. You still owe us so much debt.
Get to the point. Why did you come all the way here from the south?
I want you to head down there for a while. The southern branch is dealing with troubling incidents that are suspected to be the cases of the Distortion. We need your ability, Doctor. And please, stop with your shabby attempts to solve cases. What we want is the Distortion manifesting in its whole. Don't try to restore them, just leave them be until they fully distort.
What? Is the Seven into human experiments now?
I suppose you could put it that way. I've reserved 2 warp tickets departing N-Corp's nest in 2 months, so take the train and visit our associate office in K-Corp's nest once that time comes.
Is it a request directly assigned from the Seven Association?
Yes, it's an urban nightmare class. You're free to deny it, of course. You don't care too much about belonging to associations, after all. But you might be able to meet a certain person at the end of this request.
Leave the tickets here and sod off.
I look forward to seeing you, Doctor.
That prick.
Urza, throw some salt out the door or something.
We don't have any salt in the office, though. Should I go buy some? You know what? I gotta go buy some. I'll be going. I knew this day would come. Never mind the salt, Urza. Yes, ma'am. Bring me a map of the city. Yes, ma'am. But we don't have an officially printed map here. One sec, please. I'll try drawing one up. Here, it's done. I made it using picture stone. You call this a map? Well, it works.
Oh! Oh, I see it now!
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting.
Mostly because that really indicates that the city is nowhere near as fucking big as I thought it was. Because I always thought, like, the city was probably about the size of England, given the amount of effort that's put into it and whatnot.
2 months later, huh? Heejun Sunbei said this was related to L-Corp. Then why aren't we just going straight to District 12 where L-Corp used to be? I heard L-Corp's nest has already fallen into absolute anarchy. They probably called us to stay in a safe place that's relatively close to it. The warp platform in L-Corp's nest likely stopped operating anyways. Detective, are you really gonna stop solving distortions once we get there? Or are we just going to kill them? That's not up for me to decide. It'll depend on the severity of the distortion. But what if we ran into a distortion that could be reversed if we tried?
We can think about that later, but there's still time, so let's do our work as usual for now.
Got it! I'll go fetch our next request.
Well, everyone! I know I said at the beginning of that I didn't know if this video went overtime, but very clearly this video has now gone overtime. So, everyone, it looks like, what can I say other than Happy Hallows Eve? Because I forgot to say that at the very beginning of this episode. Oops, clumsy me. Happy Hallows Eve, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. But, everyone, I'm afraid that until the next time, it looks like it's time for me to bid thee all farewell, good day, and finally, good night.